Hey everybody, howdy. I hope you're well and happy this evening. And what Todd saw today was a package on his porch. And he opened up the package and what was inside made him smile. So I guess in a way this is sort of an update on, I did a video recently about some collectible footballs, autographed footballs that I had from way back 30 plus years ago. And after I made that video and I went to air them up, especially the two that had the paint marker autograph on them, so it was still vivid. You can still see it. That's Troy Aikman and Tony Dorsett. And I could tell before I even started trying to put air in it, when I tried to put the needle through the little hole, and I could tell that that hole was big. You know, it should be all puckered up, and you have to usually wet the needle a little bit, you know, like lick it. And you know, we've all aired up balls before, soccer ball, basketball, football, and it wasn't like that. And I finally realized, and you could shake that ball and it would rattle. So I did a little research, and I found a fella, Leatherhead Sports. His name is Paul, and Paul is in New Jersey, Glen Rock, New Jersey. And that's what Paul does. He refurbishes footballs. And he recommended that if it was a ball that was important to you or collectible, anything, you know, to call him ahead of time and make sure you understood everything that was fixing to happen. And so I called him and I talked to him. Super nice guy. And Paul explained to me that today's modern footballs, or the footballs they've been making for quite some time, that the rubber that they used for the bladder, the internal bladder, it deteriorates, and after about 10 years, a little more than that, somewhere in there, it won't hold air. It's no good anymore. And that's what happened to all the balls that I had that I showed in that other video. If you hadn't seen that and you want to, I'll try to remember to leave a link down below. And so anyway, he explained to me that he puts a new bladder in them and then relaces them. But you have to understand, he uses a bladder that won't happen. It's a different type of rubber, and when it's done, it weighs 4 ounces more than a regulation football. Which, what do I care? What would anybody care? Even if it was a ball, you know, that had been in their family they got it from their dad or their grandpa, and they want to keep it, but it wasn't autographed or anything, and they want to throw it around in the backyard. You're not going to be able to tell the 4 ounces is nothing. And for me, it's going to be on the shelf, so what do I care? And so anyway, I sent him the two footballs that were the, so if you watch that video and you recall, I have some other ones that were signed by Dallas Cowboys football players, and they were signed in Sharpie, and you can barely read it. Charles Haley and Drew Pearson and Tony Hill, and I think that's it. Anyway, so I don't know if I'll have those refurbished or not, because they're really, you can't even read where they autographed it. It's $50 per ball to have it refurbished. So anyway, here they came today, and there's the Aikman ball, and they've sent it back, aired up, ready to go. Yep. And here is the Tony Dorsett ball, Hall of Fame, 33. Aikman didn't put Hall of Fame on his because he was still a young quarterback at that time. He definitely wasn't in the Hall of Fame. When I got that ball, they may have already won 1 Super Bowl, maybe none. Not sure. My wife Deborah got me that ball for Christmas. I think the second Christmas we were together. Anyway, so, and now, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. So I was digging around in my closet, and I came across something. I'm like, wow, I did a freaking YouTube video about collectible footballs and what I have in my collection, and I forgot about this ball. What that ball is, and this was not out in the storage building where it was going through the heat cycles, you know, baking hot in the summer and cold in the winter. And this ball was in my closet, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, it says to Todd, best wishes and happy birthday, Roger Staubach. I'm 12, 1993. And as you can tell, this was done in a Sharpie as well, and it didn't fade. You can still read it clearly. So that tells me my theory about the Sharpie soaking into the leather wasn't right. It was the heat cycles, I think, that did it, that affected the ink from that Sharpie. So the story behind this was I had met Deborah the fall before, in the fall of 1992, and the next July, it was coming up on my birthday, and Deborah's sister's husband, my brother-in-law, his name is Clark, and Clark's was in business. He had a business over in Madisonville, Texas, called High Tech Toys, and the main part of that business was satellite dishes. And this is long before the little mini, you know, DirecTV and Dish Network dishes. This is like I started with a 6-foot dish down in Rockport, and at one time we had a 10-foot dish at my house outside of Brenham here, and that's before DirecTV came along and everything. And so Clark sold and installed satellite dishes, and that evolved into cell phones. But anyway, so Roger Staubach had gone in after he retired. He went into the real estate business, and he's been very successful already by then. And he has an office complex, a building, and he hired Clark to come up there and install a satellite dish on the roof and wire it down to all the TVs, whatever, through the office complex. And while Clark was working for him, he got Roger Staubach to sign a ball each for his 2 sons. And so when Deborah found out about that, and she knew my birthday was coming up, she asked my brother-in-law if it would be possible if he could ask and see if he could get a happy birthday ball from Roger Staubach. And that's where it came from. He agreed. Roger Staubach is a class act, always was. And he's not only a great football player, he served in the Navy, and he is just a good man all around. I think he would make a good governor. Probably past that window's probably closed, but he would have been a good governor or even a good president. He's a natural born leader, no doubt about that. Well, anyway, that's it. You're all caught up on the footballs. Today I went to a chili and stew cooking contest. The Sock Monkey was an entry in the stew contest. I left before the results, before they did the awards or anything, so I don't really know how it turned out. I know his stew was really good. He made green chili chicken stew, and I met a couple of his buddies that were on the cooking team with him. So had a lot of fun out there. I appreciate the invite. And oh, I have a good story to tell you right quick before I go. One of my internet friends, or a YouTuber that I watch and communicate with, and you may have heard me mention him, he's Calvin. He's RV Living with the Geezer. So the video he posted today, let me back up. Let me tell you a story first of all. Yesterday, I'm reading a story at KWHI. It's our local radio station. They have a webpage. And one of the articles in there was about a new program that the local shelter has. And it's called a Puppy's Day Out or something like that. And to kick it off, one of the city councilmen here in Brenham, he took a puppy, or a dog, an adult dog, named Lola. And Lola had been at the shelter since March. and so she was a long-termer at the shelter. And so the city councilman took her home to and meet the whole family, and then they took her to Hope Park, and it said, the article said she loved chasing squirrels, and she had a big day, right? And so that's pretty cool, and I think that's a great program. I think my daughter Sarah wants to do that, of course. But so today I watched Calvin RV Living with the Geezer. I watched his video. So Calvin's beloved dog Blanca died, and Calvin is an old guy like me. He lives in an RV. He's single, and Blanca was his companion, his best friend. I mean, they went walking, and it broke Calvin's heart when Blanca passed away, right? But he had said on his channel that someday he would get another dog. And on his video today, he introduced us to his new dog. And that dog is Lola. Not the same Lola. Calvin lives 225 miles from me. And he adopted the dog right there, I think in Decatur, I believe it is. And so I double checked. I knew that wasn't the Lola Calvin adopted. But I went to our local shelter's website and looked at the dogs that are up for adoption. They have them all listed, all the dogs and cats that they have that are adoptable. And guess what? Lola ain't there. Now, I don't know if the councilman and his family fell in love with Lola and adopted her, or someone else saw the article. It had been up a couple of days before I saw it, and they went and adopted Lola. But I think it's quite a coincidence that I read the story about Lola getting to go on a puppy's day out, and now it apparently has been adopted. And my buddy Calvin adopted a Lola too, and it sounds like it probably happened on the exact same day, 225 miles apart. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope your troubles are few and your blessings are many. And until I see you again, adios.